At club level, he is an unstoppable machine. But for his country, it is a completely different story.
Same world-class player, but why does the football look so different? It's the same jersey, but a completely different game. Are they really playing two different sports?
Football are basically two different sports wearing the same jersey. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why a player can dominate every weekend for his club, then look completely average for his country. You'll know why the World Cup feels like magic even though the actual football is often slower, and you'll never watch a match the same way again. Let's start with club football because that's the version most people actually watch every week. A club team is a business. Real Madrid, Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain. These teams buy players from all over the world using massive amounts of money. It's basically an all-star team that you can purchase. Here's why that matters. These players train together almost every single day, not once a year, not for 2 weeks, every day for 10 months straight. They eat together, they study tactics together, they run drills together until their movements become automatic. Think of it like a band that rehearses together every single day for a decade. Eventually, they don't even need to look at each other to know what's coming next. That's why club football looks so smooth, so fast, so precise. The passing feels telepathic because, honestly, it kind of is. And here's a stat that surprises people. A top club player might play and train with his teammates for over 300 days a year. 300. Now flip over to international football. This is when players go represent their home country. Argentina, Brazil, the USA, England. Instead of being bought, these players are simply born into the team. You don't get traded to Brazil. You're Brazilian, or you're not. And this is where the real difference begins. National teams get together for maybe 20 to 30 days a year, sometimes less. Compare that to the 300 days. Club teams spend together. It's not even close. Picture trying to win a dance competition with a partner you've met 4 times this year. That's essentially what international football asks players to do. This is exactly why a player can look like a genius at his club and look completely lost for his country. It's not that he got worse, it's that the chemistry simply isn't there yet. Quick pattern check. Are you starting to see why these two are basically different sports? Good, because it gets even stranger. At the club level, the goal is winning trophies constantly. There's a league season that runs almost the entire year, plus cup competitions stacked on top. If you lose one match, it barely matters. There's another game in 3 days. International football doesn't work that way. Most of it builds toward one giant tournament, the World Cup. It happens once every 4 years. 4 years of build-up for one shot. That changes everything about how the game is played. Club football rewards risk, try the flashy pass, push forward. There's always next week to fix a mistake. International football punishes risk. One bad pass in a World Cup knockout match, and a player's country goes home, sometimes for 4 more years, so players get cautious, defensive, careful. That's actually one of the biggest secrets behind why international football can look slower and more nervous than club football. It's not lower quality, it's higher stakes. Now here's where things get genuinely strange. For decades, Lionel Messi was arguably the greatest club player who ever lived, trophy after trophy with Barcelona. But for years, critics said he couldn't do it for Argentina, not because he forgot how to play football, but because club success and international success are built completely differently. Then in 2022, Argentina finally won the World Cup, and Messi cried on the field like it was the first trophy of his life. Even though by that point he already had dozens. Why? Because at the club level, talent and money can basically buy you success. At the international level, you can't buy chemistry, you can't buy national pride, you can't buy 20 years of childhood dreams suddenly becoming real in front of millions of people from your home country. That emotional weight is the real difference. Money built club football into a machine, but scarcity built international football into something almost spiritual. Let's talk money for a second because the gap is honestly shocking. Top club players sign contracts worth hundreds of millions of dollars across endorsements, wages, and transfer fees. Clubs spend that money because they need results every single week to keep fans, sponsors, and broadcasters happy. International football barely pays players anything close to that. Some national team players earn a small bonus just to show up. Some literally play for free, purely out of pride. Stop and think about that for a second. The exact same player might earn $50 million a year at his club and play for his country for almost nothing. So why do players even bother showing up for international duty if it pays so little and carries so much risk of injury? Pride, identity, history. A club can be sold, rebranded, even relocated. A country can't. When you put on that national jersey, you're representing something that existed long before you and will exist long after you're gone. That's also why international football carries something club football usually can't fake: real, raw, national emotion. Entire countries pause, streets empty out, strangers hug each other over a goal. You don't get that kind of unity over a regular club match, even a massive one. But here's the twist most casual fans miss. Because international squads only meet a few times a year, the actual level of football is usually a notch below the best club football. The passing is less crisp, the tactics are simpler, the chemistry is rougher around the edges. So technically, club football is usually the higher quality product. But emotionally, international football, especially the World Cup, hits differently than almost anything else in sports. It's the difference between watching a perfectly built machine and watching real human drama unfold in real time. So let's bring it all together. Club football is built on money, depth, daily training, and constant competition. It's smooth, fast, and incredibly skillful, almost like a finely tuned machine. International football is built on scarcity, pride, identity, and pressure. It's rougher around the edges, but emotionally it can hit harder than anything else in sports. Neither one is better. They're just different games wearing the same rules, and maybe that's the most interesting part of football as a sport. The same 11 players, the same ball, the same field, but depending on the jersey they're wearing, it can feel like a completely different game. If this finally made football click for you, there's a lot more where that came from. Hit subscribe, because the next video might just turn you into the smartest person in the room next World Cup.